Hello, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you're on the lifeboat. So good to see many of you already here. Let's see here. There we go. Get that turned on. And as you can see, people, it is old school yet again. But that may be good news as much as it's bad news. I mean, we're not happy that Mark is still going through it. That's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. What is ideal is that I was able to talk him out of trying to come here because, as I have said numerous times in the past, let me see if I can dim that there a little bit more pleasant. As I've said many times in the past, he's hard to keep away from the boat, and he just needs to take care of himself right now. We got Alan Ballantyne, we've got DJ Daddy O, we have Arizona Raven, Oculi Mortis. People, I really hope this dog was going to stay here. Hold on one moment. Here you go, Bandit. Come here, buddy. There you go, bud. That is the old expression about teaching an old dog new tricks. Bandit is a old dog. He is really sort of at the end of his time on this planet, and which is unfortunate because he is such a sweet animal. But he is unfortunately kind of at that station in life where he is getting close, and it breaks my heart. He's such a kind animal, but you know how it is. Don't give your heart to a dog, I believe, is the name of the Rudyard Kipling poem. But Jamie Watson, good to see you, Jamie. We're happy that you're here. Miss V, good to see you. The usual suspects. Joanna W, pleasure to see you. So, usually Seventh Son, see that? He wanted to make sure he wasn't missing any of the fun. Already here, fantastic. And Jackson, I know that I saw Flaming Jackson somewhere. Before we get rolling in this too much, I'd kind of like to let a couple of other people trickle in. No, you know what? I'll just have to kind of repeat myself, but we'll go over some of it now. Obviously, Mr. Mark Wages is not with us yet again. And Brandon, good to see you. Happy you're here. So Mark is conspicuously absent, and there's a reason for that. He is in a tremendous amount of pain, and he is dealing with illness. See what I did there? That is the title of today's live feed, or I should say this evening's live feed, since it's the second one that we've done today. But dealing with illness is the subject matter, and it was kind of it was chosen because of what my partner is going through. And I was going to allow him to talk a little bit about what's going on in his life and what's going on with his health. Instead, I'm going to share that with you. I did clear this with Mark. I spoke to him right before going live, and Mark's going through it. So the other night when Mark was taken to the emergency room with his blood pressure so high, it was over a kidney stone. For those of you who have endured that awful experience, there are very few things on this planet that are as painful as having to deal with a kidney stone. If you've never seen one, it looks like some kind of a throwing star that they use in martial arts, right? Or it looks like the model that they show of the C math, where you just have this ball with spikes and things that are coming off of the side of it, and they form in the kidneys. Jamie Watson says, I have had stones in both of my kidneys. My goodness. Greetings to all, and major prayers for heading out to Mark Wages and towards, the lost family dog of 12 and a half. Yeah, hit the kids hard. 12, this one is 13 years, 6 months. The kids that raised this dog are all adults now, but it's just going to be devastating for everyone. The dog's in great shape, and except for the back legs, the spine is sort of getting to that point, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's part of the part of the journey. Stacy Michaels, great to see you. So he has kidney stones, and he hit really, really high blood pressure as they brought him in, and obviously the. I'm sorry. I was talking to my brother Crash. Please pray for him. He's been going through it and can't get back to work yet. Okay, we will absolutely keep him in our thoughts and prayers. I helped a friend through a kidney stone. I've seldom seen one go so pale, and was a very dark Italian guy. You know what? I had an experience when I was in Salt Lake City. A very close friend of mine who got a kidney stone, and his wife called me, and she was not a huge fan of me, but called me because she didn't know anyone else to call, I guess. And I drove over to the house, and when I got there, he was sitting in a snowbank in a pair of boxer shorts. For whatever reason, the cool apparently was making him feel a little better. He thought it was, and this was at a time in both of our lives where we were really far gone, but far gone as far as doing a lot of drugs. We were still in pretty good shape financially. So when I got over there, he said to me, I shot all the heroin and I'm still in pain. Do you have anything? And I cooked him about a half a gram shot. I mean, probably enough to kill the average person. And I remember him doing it and then looking at me within 2 seconds and going, "You got anything else?" Like, it was just terrifying. I'm laughing with hindsight, but the amount of pain medication that this man did. And then when we got him to the hospital, I said to the doctor or it may have been a nurse, but I said, he's on a lot of pain medication. And they proceeded to give him morphine 4 times. And eventually they put him in a bathtub and bombarded him with sound waves to try to break up the stone, which did not work. He ended up passing it, and it was large enough where you could see it with the naked eye. He kept it for a while on his desk at work, and it was just frightening. It really was. To look at it was just disturbing. DJ Daddy-O says, I couldn't get comfortable in any position. I remember my dad going through it and calling me and saying, bar none, the worst pain he had ever experienced in his life. I've heard doctors compare it to childbirth, as in there's nothing else that hurts quite like it. As a man, I don't have any perspective on childbirth other than having witnessed a couple of them, and it, I can't imagine what Mark is going through. The fact that he wanted to be here at all, and he really did take, I could be a fairly persuasive guy, but it took my best efforts to keep him from coming here and trying to do this. And then within a couple of minutes of going live, he sent me a text just talking about how upset he is with himself for missing the feed, which is, one of those things that upsets me. I don't want him beating himself up. So, when Mark does come back, let's not let him apologize. It's worst pain ever, huh? Yes, that's what my dad said. It was the worst pain he had ever endured, and a lot of people say that it is the worst pain ever. Jamie, however, you may have perspective on other things that, as a guy, I can't weigh in on. But poor Mark. I wouldn't wish kidney stones on my worst enemy. It's funny you say that. Maybe not. I don't know. I think I could probably think of some person that I might want to get it. People, I have to make an adjustment. Bear with me. Can I get a 5x5 if I didn't just massively screw up the feed? Hopefully he gets through it okay. Got to take care of the kidneys. That's why my mother actually passed from in March. I'm sorry to hear that, from kidney disease. Passing a branding iron is how it was described to me. Well, that sounds particularly pleasant. 5x5, excellent. And the seventh son just gives me a squirrel, which I think is, I hope that doesn't catch on. Instead of the 5x5. Oculi, creative, I like that. I like that a lot. Seventh Son says, too loud. You know what it is? I'm used to screaming and then I get the microphone on there. I'm terribly sorry. Is that better? Hello. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville and you are on the lifeboat. But Mark is Andrea Tillett. Andrea, great to see you. Mark is going to be in that. Hopefully, this is something that he's able to get over quickly. By way of full disclosure, this is not the first time that Mark has had kidney stones. And what makes this frightening, and I think what probably drove up his blood pressure to the level that it went to, which was astronomically high. I think what drove it up is the previous bout that he had with kidney stones didn't end well. They had sent him home to go and try to pass the kidney stones, and it didn't work. And it ended up backing up and causing a great deal of pain and a great deal of problems. Derek, good to see you. And they ended up having to do surgery on him for kidney stones. So I think that that's probably fresh in his mind. Charlie Mullins, great to see you. So knowing that last time this ended in surgery, I think probably had a great deal to do with him, having his blood pressure go through the roof. So we're all hoping and praying that, this is something that Mark gets over and gets over quickly so that he can get back to sitting on the other side of the glass where he belongs and, helping out, because he really is. Yes, it was absolutely traumatic, Stacy. When he describes it, you can see, just he and I have talked about it before on, we do most of what we do this way, where it's me and him facing each other through the magic of technology. Mark and I often communicate as if we're in the same room, and you can watch what it does to him, like as he describes this, his entire demeanor changes, just like we've been talking about for the last couple of days. Very traumatic event, right? Imprinted the memory of what happened on him dramatically. So as, it's kind of a great illustration for all the things we've been talking about, as he starts to just remember that pain. What ends up happening is immediately he goes back to the same emotional state that he was in when that happened, and it's put him in a very bad place. Anxiety feeds pain too. Absolutely it does. There is no question, especially just as we were talking about, that anxiety so oftentimes is tied to emotion from previous trauma. One of the reasons that anxiety rears its head and does so, at odd times is because of the, what our memories have imprinted on us. And so, to make a long story short, people, our first mate is going through it. Poor Mark is right. So we would love everybody to keep Mark in their thoughts and prayers, and we trust that very shortly he's going to be back. I know I will have loads of anxiety when I leave here, but it's also my future. Well, and you're going to have a large group of people, Miss V, that are going to be here to have your back so that you can talk through those, so that the refractory period, shortens, and it doesn't become something that, works on your mood and then starts to, to work its way into temperament and all of that. If we've learned nothing in the last couple of days, it's that the more we discuss this and the more you bring anything out, the better off you're going to be. Saigon Cinnamon says, the last 2 months have been like a boot camp on the boat. So many illnesses and suffering. Good thing is that we have each other during these horrible times. Saigon, well said. And the reason that we titled this video today, what we did, talking about dealing with illness, is because, so many people, part of the crew of this boat has been going through it. Right now, Deja is out and has trouble, having strep throat and some other things that are bothering her, and we've got Fiona Crispin has been going through. Lady Fi has been having migraines and other problems. We had 3 or 4 different individuals who were fighting the math. Now DJ Daddy-O joins that group. The number of people that have been infected with one thing or another. There was the stomach thing that went around, full of hope, was really going through that. I had it for a number of days. So you're right. This has really been a situation where it seemed to attack almost everybody on the boat, or a lot of us anyway. So you start to have to wonder. Yeah, DJ Daddio says, yes, they want the stone to pass on its own. Both times I had to go to surgery. I won't get too graphic, but the surgery left a stent, yeah, between the kidneys and the bladder for 5 days. Yeah, that's like a permanent tube or a permanent aperture into the body. Not particularly pleasant. The stent is not, yeah, without getting too graphic, that's not very, it's not pleasant. And our first mate is enduring all of this right now, so we want to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Fiona not being here is like having one of the engines not working on the boat. Saigon, I agree with you. I think Seventh Son said it. She's not just a moderator; she's the mom-orator, and there's something to that. There really is. And it's been that way now, going on better than a month. Maybe even a little bit more than that. That somebody who is a really pivotal part of this boat, it always seems to be out. We haven't been at full strength now in a really long time, and it says a lot about all of us, because everybody does rise to the occasion, and we continue to push on. And it is the nature of what we do here. This is as much group therapy as it is anything else. I really miss Fi. I'm going to take some screenshots of these and send it to her later. We don't have Chi-Chi here tonight as well. That has a lot to do with the time. Chi-Chi is not on the East Coast. She's one time zone past the East Coast, so it's a full 4 hours difference for Chi-Chi to be 10 o'clock at night there. So, yeah, Stacy Michael says she misses Lady Fi. Yep, there's a lot of that going on. Definitely, she is missed. But I think one of the things that we talked about, and one of the things that became real obvious while I was going through it last weekend, is that the lifeboat is bigger, than any one person, and we're going to miss people, because there are going to be people that fall off for good and bad reasons. There will be people for whom what they needed was to draw support, and they may not be the same type of individual that wants to be here for giving that back. There are going to be people who seem to heal to a certain level and then move on. Never quit quitting. Picture coming tomorrow or the next day. Sorry it's taken so long. We understand, Saigon, but we are expecting that picture, so we look forward to seeing it. But while I was gone last weekend, and Mark stepped up to the plate and handled taking care of things, I could fall off of this boat and this boat would continue. And that really goes the same for every single person here. The right foot and exercise to have to keep the body in shape and healthy, especially after years of abuse. The right food. I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. CT555 says the right food and exercise. He's right. So right. There have been, numerous books written about proper nutrition and exercise for the recovering addict. Bent Genetics, really, really good to see you. Rough Seas makes you a stronger swimmer. Absolutely. And I think it's really important that we always, sort of keep in mind that this really is bigger than any one person, and we will always, the boat will continue to keep doing what it's doing, because it's a great concept. It's a beautiful thing, and it is bigger than any one person or any. But we miss everybody. We miss Mark. We miss Fiona. We miss Chi-Chi. We miss Deja. Everybody is certainly missed, and that's I think that's a testament to how much everybody all gets along and cares for one another. CW, great to see you. So before we get into talking about illness, and I do have an announcement that I think is fun. So we'll put this in between the announcement of Mark and then getting into the nuts and bolts of today's live feed. This one's fun. So, as you know, I'm going to be taking a quick jaunt to go get visit some family and maybe get something done to my eyes, so that I don't do the squint or put the glasses on and get called Homer Simpson, which would be, which we don't need. So that will be a quick trip to to Florida. And at some point when I get back, actually very shortly after I get back, I'm going to be acquiring a cabin cat. I have decided that what this cabin needs is a pussycat. So I'm going to be getting a kitten, and we're going to raise that kitten right here on the lifeboat. I figure since not a day goes by, literally, that I don't film, it's going to be an awful lot of fun to have a kitten that we can watch grow up. So I intend to, do what we did with the lifeboat. We're going to get this kitten in here. We're going to show the little animal to everybody, and then we are going to decide as a crew what we name this little creature. I figure a couple of toys, here around the see, I love cats. I knew there were going to be some people that dug this idea. Flaming Jackson loves animals. It's going to be fun to have a kitten that can jump up here on the desk and sort of wreak havoc, because nothing wreaks havoc quite like a kitten. So I really look forward to adding the cat to this part of the lifeboat family cat. No question. Sarah, good to see you. Wasn't sure you were here. That's awesome. Yes, to have the lifeboat cat. Name it Parrot. Seventh, that's great. You know what? We're definitely gonna open it up. It depends on whether I guess we get a male or a female, and you will all weigh in. I trusted you to name. Andrea Tillett says love it. Pamela Swan says love it. Jacob, let's see, what did Jacob say? It's am I not squirreling well enough? That could be it. Yeah, I don't even see where. We need a parrot. The problem with parrots are they tend to make a very large mess. The other thing is where I live is tough for parrots because, Jacob agrees. Parrot is a good name. I'm not going to lie to you. But it will be up to you guys, and everyone will have a chance to weigh in on that. And when you see, I would rather eat deer meat than any other. Okay. Birds are messy. The other thing is where I live, it gets really cold. And parrots aren't big on the cold. Like they can live a really, really long life, but they do not like cold weather, and that's been known to take them out. And I don't want any chance of that, that happening. Yeah, we had some parrots growing up, and one was vicious. The other was an awful lot of fun, but it was a cold thing that got it. And I would, but it's going to be fun to watch this because, unlike, other channels that put up a cat named Cat, because other channels don't put up the kind of content that we do pretty much constantly, you really will literally be able to watch this thing grow up on film, which I think will be fun. And we need a cabin animal. I think that's almost essential. Birds live as long as humans' lifetimes. Yeah, they can. There are some apparently that can live to like 125. There's not unheard of. They have really, really long lives. So, yes, we will. Tommy, rescue is the only name. See, and once we see the pussycat, some people may change their minds. Rescue is a great name. By the way, it will be a rescue cat. I am not going to go and purchase an animal when there are so many animals out there that are facing a bad, future. We're going to definitely identify an animal that we're able to save from a bad existence, and then bring it in here and lavish it with love. But that is coming. Thought I would announce that. The day is coming here in the very near future where one of these times we're going to pop on to the so many people are rescued by the boat. I like it. Bubba! Oh, Bubba, it is good to see you. Always a pleasure when my friend Bubba pops in. Very good to see you. So one of these days we're going to pop up, and right here, I'm just going to pop up in there, and there's going to be a little fur ball, and that fur ball will be Alan Ballantyne, says Bubba, hi. Yeah, Bubba is people of the story that I told about a week ago when I was talking about Thanksgiving Day at the halfway house when they gave us microwave burritos. and a good friend of mine in the halfway house sort of saved Thanksgiving by putting on a Thanksgiving feast for everybody, and probably went broke in the process of doing it. That was Bubba. Very, very caring soul, really good guy. Ben Genetics says 20 plus cats, 9 dogs. Oh my goodness, you have an entire zoo. Bubba is a good name for our cat, says Full of Hope. I will. It would have to be a very large cat. You'd have to see Bubba to really have an appreciation for how large a cat it would take to live up to that name. I love the Homeward Bound movies, Sassy, Shadow, and Chance. Well, I promise you we're going to have an excellent opportunity for naming said pussycat here in the very near future. So, the subject matter today, obviously, is dealing with illness, and this is something that is really timely because of everything that's been going on in the lifeboat. If, under the best of circumstances, if you're just living in the normal world and everything is groovy, dealing with illness is a very tough thing to do. It has not been a normal world for anybody. Now, obviously, with what's been going on with the math, Georgie too, with everything that has been going on with the C+ math, it's been a real challenge for the entire world. Because at any given time, there doesn't seem to be anybody that doesn't know someone who is in the process of suffering through this illness. And hospitals are overflowing, right? People are afraid to go to hospitals. We find ourselves in a bad time in terms of health for the world. And as those of us who have walked a mile in the same shoes, this creates a whole new set of problems. And I think CT555 said something genius. We are more susceptible. Whether or not this is something that you realize, it really is, I promise you, an absolute fact that we wore down our body and we wore down our defenses, right? You know how this process works. This is pretty basic stuff they taught us all in school, but there is, our body's defense system to try to fight things off. In the best of circumstances, goes in, and much like a small war, right? The cells go in there and they do their fighting. The white blood cells go in and they fight off infection or they fight off disease. But very oftentimes, the fight is more than it can handle. Right now, this big push to get everybody vaccinated, they're putting in antibodies so that your body has the ability to then fight off the illness based on the fact that we sort of introduce them to who they're going to be fighting, kind of a situation. Now, we won't debate whether or not that's a good thing, a bad thing, any of that, because there's just no point in that. It's not what we do here. But we do find ourselves more susceptible. There's a reason that everybody on this boat seems to be getting sick. One of the things is we wear ourselves out with drugs. They really do damage so much of the physical, and we don't concentrate on it nearly as much because it is the act of getting sober is such a mental thing that we very oftentimes neglect the physical. CT hit it out of the park. It starts with good nutrition. If you start giving your body exactly what it needs, you have a much better shot of fighting off illnesses as they come up. Even, just as important, if not more important, you also have the ability to shorten the window of the illness. If you're giving your body proper nutrition, you have an opportunity to get whatever you get for a much shorter period of time. For those of us who have been abusing our bodies for decades, when I first quit, I got everything. I kid you not, I got everything. And it seemed almost ridiculous to me because while I was using, that wasn't happening. While I was using, I seemed to be fine, but the shock to your system, you understand, people, that no matter what your substance of abuse was. By the way, I had 2 different people say to me that they didn't like the term drug of choice because it made it sound like something that, we're in the process of continuing to do, or it's something that we were happy about. The problem chemical, whatever, how else we want to say that, I'll work on it. There should be something better than drug of choice, I guess. But whatever your chemical that you were dependent on, your body becomes quite accustomed to this. And while that is taking place, you may not be the healthiest cat in the world, but your body is not in upheaval, right? But once you go into the process of saying, I'm done, and you draw the line in the sand and you say, from this point forward, I'm not doing, these drugs anymore. We've talked about this. Your body gets thrown into the stream of the unknown, right? You get tossed in the river of the new, and it's not something that your mind or your body wants to do. We have talked ad nauseum very recently about how you can make yourself sick. It is very possible to make yourself sick because of stress, anxiety, depression. You can honestly make yourself sick. So drug of choice is perfect because it chose to hook us, not us choosing it. There is something to that. There was a choice and a drug involved. Seventh Son, always concise and to the point. I like, you know what? If it makes you feel better. I also argued this point with both individuals and said, we absolutely chose this. Now, it doesn't mean that, it was a good choice, and it doesn't mean that, but I think it's almost, I don't want to offend anybody, but I think drug of choice probably is and it's also so accepted worldwide among people in the rehabilitation community and people who are, 12 steps or anything else. I hear it abbreviated constantly. People say, what was your DOC? So once you wear down the body, once you find yourself trying to get sober, just the mental anguish of what you're going through wears you out. And one of the things that happens, and I'm sure everybody went through this, you're not hungry, right? You don't sleep well. Think of all of the things that sobriety does to us, especially in the beginning, that makes it very difficult to remain healthy. We're not getting enough sleep. We're not eating right. We're craving things that aren't good for us. When you first stop using, one of the things that, that most addicts, depending on especially your drug of choice, but most addicts will crave sugar. So I know with opiates, it's brutal, right? Chocolate, sugar, anything really sweet is what sort of one of the only things that kind of makes you feel better. So we don't eat the right way. We don't get the right sleep. Certainly you're not exercising. So CT555 really kind of spelled out what the best case scenario for your body is. And if you don't do that, if you don't take that seriously, then you open yourself up for everything that comes down the pike. You really find yourself in a position where you're susceptible to everything. And it's, like you need one more thing to worry about, right? You have to worry about this. You really do. And there is so much. My brother's been clean and sober for quite a while now, and he's proud of me for coming here. Oh, how cool is that? It feels fantastic when you're trying to do the right thing and there's somebody out there that appreciates it. That's such a great thing. It really is. And it doesn't happen often enough, which is one of the reasons that the lifeboat was a necessity. But that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. But people, knowing all of the things that are going to be coming down the pike, knowing all of the struggles that you're going to be having, taking care of yourself is paramount. Because we know that hungry, angry, lonely, or tired are all triggers. But there are other ones too. And being unhealthy makes us think about feeling better. Right? If the drug of choice you had was physically dependent, if it's alcohol or benzodiazepines or pain medication or anything like that, when you start to feel sick, it feels like withdrawal anyway. All of these things are triggers that can send you back to where you're going. If you know that you have an uphill battle in front of you, that you have a real struggle to make this work, please, people, start taking your health seriously. Again, you don't have to become a workout nut. You don't have to be down at the gym 5 days a week pumping iron. But how about walking 15 minutes a day? And if you're just starting and you're feeling like death, why don't you walk 5 minutes a day? But start to get into the mindset of, I'm going to dedicate a little time to exercise and I'm going to eat properly. 3 meals a day, not a bad idea when you're first starting to get sober, and you're going to have to force yourself. Everybody can attest to this. For the most part, you're not hungry when you first give up your drug of choice. When you first give up your drug of choice, hunger is not something that most people experience. There are exceptions to this. If you were somebody that was on a 2-week, meth binge or a 3-week meth binge, you might wake up and be ready to, to eat like a Viking. But I eat at least 2 meals a day. and maybe a snack. It's just important that we start to take these things into account, because if you don't, then you're going to be susceptible to everything that comes down the pike. Some choices are made subconsciously, and some choices are bad or wrong. Many we wish we could take back and choose differently. Still a choice it was. I personally am fine with the term, and I own it. You know something? I'm with you. And it seems like the crew has spoken. So if you're one of the crew members who said to me, I'm not a big fan of the term drug of choice, I think you're alone, with all due respect. And I play the numbers. I've said this many, many times. Tommy, I haven't had cravings in years, but when I got the C plus math, I would wake up and my brain would instantly tell me I was withdrawing, even though it's been 7 whole years. You know something? I went through the exact same thing, because it feels like that. In fact, I think I said it on the air a couple of times, that it felt remarkably like withdrawal sickness, because your entire body hurts. You know, it's almost impossible to move. It really was a very similar feeling. Good health just takes a little consistency, says Jacob Forrester. And I don't think that there's a lot that Jacob comments on that he doesn't research. Not, disparaging anyone else or anybody else's comments or anything like that. But Jacob is just one of those cats that researches things. And I agree with you. Almost everything in what we do, Jacob, maybe you agree or disagree, but almost everything in what we do when it comes to sobriety is about consistency. Somebody upsets you. You sit down, you make a choice to get out of the subconscious and the conscious and go directly to the analytical mind. Okay, why is this person doing this? Should I allow this to bother me? Is it really rejection, or is it projection? And you start going from emotion to analytics, right? That just takes a little bit of discipline. Getting up in the morning and saying, I'm not going to have a Coca-Cola and a Hershey bar. I'm going to try to put something into my body to start the day that's going to make me healthy, right? Logic. This is, again, consistency in everything. In fact, boy, we probably need a video called Consistency. And that is in everything. Jacob makes a phenomenal point yet again. Even coming to, and this is going to sound wildly self-serving as the captain of a lifeboat who has a YouTube channel, but even consistently coming and talking to people in a group setting. Anything that you're going to do, you're creating a new life. Our last life, the page 2 of whoever you are, was so habitual, it's incredible. Think about it. As a drug addict or an alcoholic, you did the same things each and every day. My son is wanting me to lay down and watch a show while he gets ready to go to bed. Good night, Saigon Cinnamon. I don't think you could do anything better than to go and do that with your boy. Let him know that the boat loves him and that they're proud of him, huh? Good kid. And you have a great night. Love you, brother. So consistency moving forward, right? When you're going from page 2 to page 3, the page 2 lifestyle was consistent. Each and every day you did all of the same things, right? For me, I had to steal, right? I had to do something to come up with the money. I was going to do the dope probably in the same place. I was going to meet these people in the same parking lot. I was going to then sit around and get the nod on or whatever it is I was doing. But it was each and every day. And what makes something habitual is doing it so often, right, that the body remembers things that the mind doesn't have to. Your body can now do this without without the mind having to think about it. That's what creates a habit. I actually went my whole life till the age of 38 without being diabetic. My diabetes didn't come on till I was in recovery for opiates. Pretty sure it was brought on by my sugar cravings. Absolutely not something that I've heard for the first time. I have heard numerous people say that that going in and out, not necessarily even getting it right the first time, but spending 3 or 4 years trying to get sober, they would bop in and out, right? And constantly be trying to fight that. And every time they would start to get sober, they would crave sugar and they would spend a week and a half binging on it and they would relapse. And 6 or 7 days later, they would start the whole process again and spend 4 or 5 days binging on sugar and binging on unhealthy snacks and drinks and things. I don't think you're unique in that, Tommy. I really don't. I think that that's something that probably happens more often than not. Flamin' Jackson. People, this one is important. Tonight is 11 days without cannabis. I'm just now starting to get my appetite back, just now starting to dream more. Now, and the dreams are more vivid. When I used to use cannabis, I never remembered my dreams. Flamin' Jackson, you're going to get chemical dreams as well, and know that's coming. Know it's normal. You're probably going to start dreaming about smoking pot. You're probably going to start dreaming about buying it, hanging out with people that do it. There are a lot. Most people, when they get sober, go through a period of time where they get chemical dreams. You've heard people on the channel talk about it before, and they wake up feeling guilty, like, oh man, I can't believe I was just even dreaming that. It's very, very normal if you start getting chemical dreams where you're literally vividly, dreaming about using. Don't beat yourself up and don't think for a second that it is unusual, because it's not. But we're proud of you, man. 11 days is a long time. It really is. That is absolutely awesome. I am proud of you. Really, really proud of you. And Pamela says, oh my God, yes, I still have those. You're referring to the dreams, I assume. Pam, I still have them too, all the time, and it's been 6.5 years. But I still have chemical dreams all the time. And what's odd for me is that I can't notice, I can't use in the dreams. I'm always getting the stuff, right? But I've never actually been able to smoke it, snort it, shoot it, whatever it is that I'm trying to do in the dream. It's kind of bizarre, but something always keeps it from happening. I'll have it in my hand, I'll be trying to prepare it, and somebody will bump me, or I need a cigarette lighter and I can't find it, or I need a spoon and I can't find it. There's always something in my dream that keeps me from being able to use, and it has always been that way. Not once ever in my dream have I successfully used drugs, but I'm always trying to, which is kind of bizarre. Miss V says, sometimes, but mine are scary because lots of times what I dream about happens. That is odd. I'm not doubting you for a second either, just odd. Charlie Mullen says, it's been 21 and a half years since I quit drinking and I still dream about drinking. Joanna W says, that's a good sign, Tommy. You know what? I'd like to think it is. I don't know whether or not, truthfully, but I like to think it is. But it's always been that way. I've never once, but you ever get in one of those dreams where you're in a fight? Same thing for me in a fight. I can't land a punch. I can't do anything sort of successfully. Whatever I'm trying to do in the dream always seems to come up short. It's kind of bizarre. But yeah, Jackson, really, really proud of you, brother. That is, that was worth the squirrel, because I had not heard that until just before coming on the air. I read it in the chat over on Facebook, and super happy to read that. And I know there are people here that for whom cannabis is a non-issue. If it's not an issue in your life, I'm not bagging on cannabis, you understand? But if Jackson felt like the time had come to put that in the rearview mirror, I'm happy about that. I think that's awesome. And the fact that he's been successful for 21 days is huge. That really, really makes me happy. Wow, Charlie, haven't had that dream. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, 21 and a half years, Charlie's still dreaming about chemicals. It just goes to show you, people, how dramatically imprinted on us the habits that we had of literally just, oh my goodness. A little baby girl was found in a river today in my town. Pray for Emma, please. Is this... Derek, we'll be happy to pray for it. Do you mean that she's no longer with us? Did she pass away, or she was found in the river and is alive? Either way, no problem, praying for Emma. Thoughts and prayers for Emma, please, people. Flamin' Jackson says, Joanna, I believe the reason I couldn't remember my dreams when I used cannabis was because it affects your short-term memory. Here's what, that maybe there's something to that, Jackson, or maybe, I I don't know. It would be interesting to find that out, but you're not the first person I've heard say that either. There's a lot of people that have said when they were daily users of cannabis, they had a difficult time remembering dreams. You're definitely not the first person that said that. And a lot of people, I don't care what your drug of choice is, many of them talk about dreaming or remembering dreams more once they get sober, and that is certainly because of the brain activity and the brain waves and what's going on in your brain. Your subconscious becomes far more active, and some of that is the brain playing tricks on you to try to get you to use again. Some of that is absolutely along those lines, but it's I'm proud of you, Jackson. I'm absolutely proud of you. I know that everybody here on the boat is proud of you. That's awesome. 11 days is a long time. You know, when what a great accomplishment, and it's so cool that that you can come here and share that with everybody here. You're a popular cat here, Jackson. Everybody loves you. I'm really happy that that we were here to be able to share that with you. Keep it up, and keep it up. If you start feeling like you're slipping, you know exactly where to come. Her dad drove him and her into the river, and he lived. She passed away. Oh, Lord. Okay, Derek, thank you. So is Emma the name of the baby that passed? So thoughts and prayers for that family as well. That has got to be just the most difficult thing in the world. That for that poor father. I don't know how. I can't imagine. I absolutely cannot imagine. So, yeah, thoughts and prayers with that family. And that is just tough. Yeah, Alan Ballantyne sums it up well. He says, Flamin', be proud, brother. That's awesome. Joanna W., I'm with you. That is absolutely awful. And it's just, yeah, incredibly sad. Just such a tough thing for that family. And you know what? The power of prayer, the power of positive thought, the power of sending out energy, whatever you want to call it, is documented. It's one of the reasons I think that everybody here sort of is cool with it. No matter what you want to call it, it's documented. It works. You don't have to call it prayer. You don't have to call it anything. But double blind tests out the wazoo. You can go and look at the research. It's really amazing how well, whatever you want to call it, works. And it really does. So I love the fact that we have a crew of people here that can all sort of pull in the same direction, regardless of what your beliefs are, regardless of any of that. And I don't know that that's important. I really don't. Not for everybody just trying to bring kindness to the party, which is what the lifeboat does so well. Really does well. Memory transfer seems dose dependent with cannabis for me. Excess certainly dampens transfer. Once again, memory transfer seems dose dependent with cannabis. For me, excess certainly dampens transfer. So he's saying that if if you're smoking a lot of it, then you're probably really hampering the ability to dream and such, or remember dreams and such. That is awful beyond awful. It really is, Jacob. Jacob, by the way, when we got off the last live feed, I had two people reach out to me, and one person in person who I spoke to didn't get an email or a text. I actually spoke to them, with voice, but all of them commented on the beautiful comment that you left on the last live feed about that echo never stopping. And it was a beautiful comment, and it touched so many people. And it was so close to the end of the feed that I don't know that I really had an opportunity to just to really sort of hammer home what an awesome thing that was that you said. I screenshotted it, to put along with the rest of the collection, but so many people you touched with that, and I appreciate that to no end. I can't begin to tell you. Ben Genetic says, I need to quit smoking cigarettes. I hate it. I need to quit vaping, and what I've been doing is stepping down the level of nicotine in what. So I was on 50, and then I went to 30, and now I'm on so little that I'm not even sure that it's. I'm not sure if this is the right method, but it is the method I'm choosing. So The next one apparently will have so little nicotine that it's almost like smoking just or vaping for the sake of the taste or whatever, and then you quit. Then is the theory. It's actually a cessation system, but we're going to find out. I can't take the pills, he says. Well, there is, there was a pill that has worked for people when I was a cigarette smoker. I quit using Zyban. And if you've never done Zyban, or if you're not familiar with it, it is the exact same drug as Wellbutrin. It's just in a different strength. And Wellbutrin is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It's an SSRI, something that they give people for depression. In smaller quantities, they give it, and it's called I vape. It's my hobby, really. I also test for a large vape company in China, says Alan Ballantyne. I think, and you know what? I'm not a doctor, and it's an opinion. It's just one guy's opinion, but I smoked for years, and it is really a different habit. When you light something on fire and breathe it into your lungs, it seems a whole lot tougher on that than me. Anybody who's lost someone probably gets that. Jacob, anybody who's lost someone gets it, but to articulate it the way you did, I think was I think even people who haven't lost someone can understand the, excuse me, the beauty and the poetry of how you worded it was just amazing. And it's like you to downplay that, but it was beautiful. And I thank you. I really do. Oculi Mortis says, am I froze? I can read you, Oculi, if that's what you mean. Am I froze? Oculi, can you hear us? I can read your comment. If I'm not sure if what you were asking me, but if the comment was frozen or whatever, some people have been having some trouble with the internet, but I read that, so hopefully you can see us as well, Oculi. But yeah, if you meant could we see your comment, I could see it. So Alan Ballantyne, I'm curious to know what that testing entails. Really, I am. But the takeaway. Oh, she said, tell him to try closing the chat and refresh the page and to reopen it. So that may be, that may be the way to do it. I watched my dad smoke all of his life. My grandmother promised to give me $100 if I never smoked, at least until I was 21. I got the money. Good for you, Miss V. 5x5 Oculi, correct. Everybody saw the comment. If it was a comment thing, we definitely can see you. But people have been having issues. You're not alone. Charlie Mullins gives me a 5x5. The takeaway today, people. The takeaway is that for many, many years, our habits were absolutely awful. T. Prada, the beginning of this live feed, we talked about wages. He's hanging in there. He has kidney stones, so he needs thoughts and prayers. I test vape mods and tanks as prototypes before they are released. I give feedback, etc., and changes necessary. Okay, interesting. So, thank you to the moderators, says Flaming Jackson, and that is appreciated. People, so the takeaway, once again, everything we did was so habitual. What we did to our bodies, the abuse that we did to our bodies, everything was a day-to-day ritual. The same thing again and again and again. What that did is it makes it so that when the time comes to quit and you are so uncomfortable by breaking all of those rituals, it opens you up for illness in a way that nothing else possibly could. We don't eat right. We don't sleep right. We don't exercise. All of the things on top of the fact that we're stressed out. And we have already determined through science, and you can read this anywhere, no, don't blame me. I didn't do anything. I did nothing. My hands were here. I'm nowhere near anything. And I love Oculi. I like hearing what he has to say. So if I was going to get somebody, I'll tell you who I would have. No, I'm kidding. But Oculi, I haven't seen you put anything else back up there, though, which makes me nervous. But we did see when you said, are you frozen out? But what we did was so habitual. There he is on my end. Okay, good. It's good to see you, OM. Glad to have you back. You made us nervous. Miss V says, Tommy, you are a squirrel. Okay, I get that. So, habitual, the things that we did open us up to the absolute worst of illnesses that can come down the pike. We don't take care of ourselves. On top of that, we add these unbelievable stressors that we're going through because we're trying something new. We're jumping into the river of the unknown, and our body is craving the same things mentally that we've been giving it for the entire time that we're addicts. So the takeaway is that, just like Jacob said, being healthy just becomes creating that new habit. But you have to set out to create that new habit. So it means getting up in the morning and eating something. It means small amounts of exercise in the beginning, but something. I don't care if you do a push-up, you do one squat, you walk around the house, but get into the habit of doing the right thing to feed your body, not only nutritional-wise and exercise-wise. You're going to struggle with sleep. Struggling with sleep opens you up to a whole host of illnesses. So you have to try to get back on track as fast as possible to avoid anything that may come down the pike that can get you sick. Derek N says, is deer meat healthier than store meat? I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that it is against the law to sell venison, so it's going to be tough to get unless you're a hunter. But I tend to believe that things that come from the wild probably haven't been shot up with hormones and antibiotics and all of the things that. So my gut would say probably healthier, but I don't know. I would be just taking a shot in the dark on that. You know who to ask? Honestly, I don't know. I would probably ask Jacob. I'm not kidding, because he's probably researched this at some point. If not, he's not here today either, but Keith Nichols would be a great guy to ask that. You are a hunter. Okay. Yeah, Keith Nichols would be a guy that could answer that question. He knows a tremendous amount about exactly that. God, I hate cranberry juice. I got a lot of bladder infections when I was growing up, and my mom would make me drink a whole bottle of one in one day. I love cranberry juice. I'm the wrong guy to say that. Absolutely love cranberry juice. People, prayers for DJ Daddy-O. He has got the C+ math. For all of the other people that are going through it, we have a whole host of people on the boat who have been unhealthy in terms of getting sick. Lady Fiona Crispin, Deja, who am I missing? There's just a lot of people right now. Obviously, Mark, just people. Let's look out for one another. Let's all keep everybody here in our thoughts and our prayers, because right now we are all, don't say Vegemite, because everybody here, yes, good message tonight, Captain. Be aware of it, people. It has definitely come back to bite him in the backside. And I think everybody, way leaner. I'd add back fats. Okay, way leaner, he says. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of venison. I try not to think about Bambi, and I just go for the taste. But I do love venison. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Captain. You know what, Mr. T? I love you, man. You're a great cat. I really enjoy the talks that we have, and I want to make sure that we keep you here and in good spirits. You seem to be coping with this better than most, but it took a minute for it to really get to me. So just be careful and take care of yourself. He says, I hunt, or used to. Venison is definitely more lean than any store-bought beef. Alan Ballantyne says, love you all and God bless everyone. And boy, that's a great sentiment. Bent Genetics, always a pleasure. Every time I see you here, man, I really do. Jamie Watson. Jamie, I feel like I was supposed to text you at 1 minute 2, and I didn't. I apologize. There was something, I can't remember what it is, but there was something I was supposed to text you, and I'll have to get to that. Alan Ballantyne says, Joanna, good night. Good night, everyone, says Pamela. People, thank you so much. Between now and tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., when, in theory, I will try to put up a video. I don't know. I mean, in theory, it should go up there. But do me a favor, people. Watch the video in the morning.
I'm honestly like, I'm on the edge of talking to Mark about it and just saying, do we need a morning video? I don't mind doing the work, but it seems that they don't get a lot of views, and I don't want to put something up there if it's not benefiting you guys. Then it's work that doesn't need to be done. But if you like them, please show up and check them out. Let me know it, because it's one of those things that, if we're going to do it, I would like to know that you all are into it. And the best way to do that would be to show up there tomorrow and tell me. Charlie Mullins will be there. You can pretty much count on that. Charlie is a predictable cat, positive guy. It says, I'm waiting on your email from Joanna W. Okay, Joanna, I shall get that taken care of. Sorry, been a little inundated, but trust me, it's on its way. Okay, everybody. Between now and tomorrow morning at 8, when in theory I am putting up a video, reach out there and try to save somebody. It's what we do, right? Thank you, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. This has been a live feed.